And discussing drugs and alcohol, when and how to start that conversation with your kids before they go back to school. The assistant clinical director from the Shores Treatment and Recovery Center here to help us with that important conversation. That is next. Well, get this, we're only 2 weeks away from back to school, and some parents really need to have a conversation about drugs and alcohol before their children head off to school.
Yeah, for some of those parents, it'll be the first time joining us this morning to talk about just that, starting the conversation. Dr. Laura Olivios with the Shores Treatment and Recovery Center. So what is the right age to start talking with your kids about it, Dr. Olivios?
I think that we first and foremost have to start the conversation with preventative work. So it has to be an ongoing conversation that you have with your children. Even when they acquire that language at an early age, research really suggests having teachable moments as young as preschool age. But really, when they start to develop that concrete thinking skills, we want to hone in at the 6-7 year mark where they have that exchange with you and they can understand certain terminology and concepts a little better.
So what are the important things that you should be discussing?
You should be discussing basically how to be able to communicate with your parent in a trusting way, first and foremost, when they do have concerns. If you look at the media, they're already being exposed from a young age. If you're not having that conversation with your children, the kids in the schoolyard will. So I think it's really key to be able to have that trusting relationship, have good communication skills so that you can emphasize prevention.
It seems like almost every week we hear about something new. I think last week we were talking about a drug that looks like sweet tarts. Yeah. How do we prepare kids for that?
I think that doing your research first as a parent is key. And not engaging in fear-mongering, because we know that when we start to produce that stress and anxiety in our children, they're not going to encode the information as accurately. So we want to be able to do our research and be able to have just honest conversations about what's out there.
Now, you may have heard of the phrase, kids will try it, so it might as well be at home. Is that really a good idea?
No. According to the research, it actually will increase your odds to engage in addiction later on in life in teens. So
really,
it's definitely not a good idea.
So the parents should not be throwing those alcohol-laced parties because the ramifications are pretty good.
Definitely, and I think one of the biggest things is having, as a parent, to model good mental health to your children and model skills of not engaging in substance use and harmful behaviors. I think it's probably one of the key messages that you could ever give your children.
All right,
and also being open to the kids when they want to talk about these things.
Yeah, it is a tough conversation, and sometimes parents don't want to do it, but it does pay off in the future. All right, thank you so much. Now, you can learn more if you want to have more information about the shoresrecovery.com. We've put that on our website as well at cbs12.com. Tough conversation, but well worth it.